Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I appreciate your willingness to move this agenda item up. We do have with us Helga Conrad, Director of the Partnership, as well as Tanya Corpy of the Partnership. At the previous meeting, we discussed this proposed amendment to the agreement that we have with the Partnership. The Douglas County Industrial Development Board heard this proposal at their January 19th meeting, and they recommended approval. And the County Board of Commissioners has since approved the IGA, as well as the other partners. The City's Economic Development Commission heard this on the January 12th meeting when they recommended approval, and this item was brought at your last meeting on January 25th, at which time the Council requested some additional information, which we provided to you in your packet, as well as bringing Helga to the meeting. So here she is. Rather than going through the material which has been provided to you, I'm simply going to state that the recommendation stands, as was last time, to recommend approval of the agreement. And I'm going to turn it over to Helga. Yep.
This is great. First of all, I really appreciate your taking your time, Mayor Rich and City Council. And wanted to make one clarification. Tanya works for CCD Business Development Corp. And Tanya, we outsource our bookkeeping. So, and Tanya does a fabulous job for us. She's here to answer any detailed budget questions. But Tanya did provide the information that you have in your packet, the one that was sent at the last, I think it was the 3-year analysis.
Correct.
I think you, Brian, you gave him that. Right?
It's in a so the memo says has 30 pages, and it's immediately following page 30.
Yeah. Some of the things that I just wanted to go over just a little bit tonight was some of in our strategic plan. Sometimes it's a long process to get things done. I know in economic development, everybody wants to see projects come immediately and jobs created, of course. And that's part of our job, but also another big part of the job is making sure that industrial sites are ready for business. And some of the things that we're working on are, for example, the Dixonville site. You're pretty much aware of that site, which was the old Roseburg Forest Products mill site, which is just east of town. We assisted with a link to Business Oregon to find funding, which was an award amount of $24,500 to do the feasibility study on the water and wastewater to that site to make sure that it could serve a user that needed water and wastewater services. And the reason that I was not able to be here 2 weeks ago is that I was with a client who flew in from Chicago to review the site, and then we had dinner to talk about the site. That just happened coincidentally because they had called on a short notice and said that they would be flying out and to, of course, make myself available for that client. The information about the Dixonville site is on OregonProspector.com, and certainly go to that site and review all of our sites. And I thought it was very interesting that the client who flew out from Chicago found our information on that website, found all of our contact information, and was able to call me directly to talk about that site. So that it wasn't a state lead, it was our lead, which is refreshing. The Industrial Site Certification Program is something we've been working on since, 2004, since it was in its inception at the state level from the governor's economic revitalization program. One of the things I wanted to point out to you was that we started working with Roseburg Forest Products on the Winchester site way back in 2005 when they initially owned that site. It was since sold to Douglas County Forest Products. And the reason I wanted to point that out was that we were instrumental in helping push forward the ability to get a cut and fill permit. So today, Costco, has been excavating a lot of soil, has been able to take that fill to that location, and I'm sure that's helped that project. Currently, we're still involved in the industrial certification program. We were able to acquire a $20,000 grant to help pay for part-time staff time to work on that program. And that is important because clients come to us and they want to know how many, what the certainty is of a site so that they can put their project together in a timely manner. So basically what they do is review the information that we've gathered, and that helps them greatly in their due diligence period. The other goal that we have, of course, is meeting with local business to assist them in any way that we can. We are part of the workforce response team, and every year that team gets a certain allotment of workforce training dollars, and we're able to help those companies who say, yes, I need help in lean training, or I need a very specific kind of training that meets the needs of their company so that they become agile and as competitive as possible in this kind of economic environment. Some of the other things that we work on are business recruitment, of course. We're focused on industry targets that fit our region. However, we're looking at proposals. We're going to be looking at proposals in the future with consulting firms that do qualified lead generation. And there are a lot of economic development groups that are doing this. I talked to the whole state of the whole state of Washington is outsourcing their qualified lead generation, and it makes sense to subcontract with somebody who has the capability to do it on a faster, leaner, more intelligent basis for us. So the partnership's looking at that. In addition to the other duties that I am involved in is the entrepreneurial development. We supported the Rio Networks Incubator, and the partnership is involved. I sit on the advisory committee currently. I think that if you have any specific questions, that's why I'm here, is to take your questions. Tanya's here to help you perhaps understand any of the budget questions that you might have. And also, I really appreciate your time and your service. And I would like to come back on at least an annual basis, if maybe not a biannual basis, to answer your questions and keep you up to date.
Okay. Helga, last time we met, there was some questions in terms of what exactly do you do, and so that's why we had asked that you come back, and appreciate all the paperwork that you sent us because it gives a clear picture.
I hope that was helpful.
Does anybody have any questions? Because last time I know some of you were asking about what exactly does she do. This is the one where we have the 30,000 to now 50,000, needing to get that approval. Of course, it's been happening since 2004, but this is what this one was all about.